Hello and welcome back to another episode. We're going to do a really quick one today because A, I'm running out of time, and B, I just filmed a 45-minute video and realized the microphone wasn't working. So I'm not going to persevere you through a lot of crap and a lot of audio issues that have. So quite quickly, we're going to talk about what we did today. I went to the Canberra show last night, got myself a show bag. It's really crap, don't recommend. And we're going to look at Ghost House for the Sega Master System at the end of the episode. But before we get into the Ghost House gameplay, I suppose, and watch how bad I am, just for a quick heads up, all the gameplay that you see is me playing it on an emulator. And as you can probably see my previous videos, I'm really bad because I'm using a keyboard. Somehow I'm going to try and find out if I can get a controller or very similar to a Sega Master System controller that I can play on the Mac. But long story short, blaming the keyboard for how bad I am. So to time with the Ghost House game, Riley, which is 15, and Olivia, which is 10, and I went on the Ghost House or Ghost Train, or Ghost House, whatever comes out in the video. So I did film that on the new backpack cam, as you may have seen from the community page yesterday. So that it goes for about 5 minutes. It was really bad, and the only person that screamed on that ride was me. So that footage will be right at the end of the video. I will hopefully fast forward through the crap. However, I might leave it there because it's obviously the atmosphere of the show and all these different things. So probably wouldn't recommend that ride, but we did have a good time and spent a lot of money. So it's probably a case for maybe reselling, in the sense that, you know, once a year you probably fork out $600-700 to go to the show because the kids want 19 show bags each, and I had to get my show bag. So what I'm going to talk about today quite quickly is value propositions for businesses, in the sense that work out where you are in the business ecosystem. Myself, I've kind of floated to the top of the Skylander ecosystem, in the sense that people are reaching out to me because they know I've got the capacity, I've got the cash, and I pay pretty decent prices. So what happens now, in the sense that when we talk about Skylanders and all these different things, more often than not, they're coming to me delivered. So what happens is that someone will reach out to me and say, hey, look, you know, Josh, or whatever whatever they call me the other day, do you buy Skylanders? And I had like a whole bunch of Skylanders come through earlier in the week that I have referenced. Got the second half coming through a different person late, probably mid next week, I just said this morning. So they reached out to me and said, hey, look, do you buy Skylanders? The biggest common thing that I normally get, and this is a tip for new players that's taken me a very long time to learn, and probably way too long actually, is that when people will send me a picture to say, these these are waiting to be put into a new box, I need to move these Skylanders across to here. So these are the ones that are waiting for a new tub. So they might send me a picture like that and say, hey, what will you give me for these? And it's like, well, I don't know, because the simple fact is I can't see. So some people get really good and they send me 418 photos, literally. Or alternatively, they'll send me 2 photos and say, hey, what will you give me for this? Now, I don't have time. And like I said, yeah, it's kind of that realization in that ecosystem where you sit. If I was just getting into the reselling space for Skylanders, I would be constantly going to op shops. I'd be constantly going to Facebook Marketplace deals and going out and picking them up, like I did pick up some this morning. So it's not, I'm not out of that system yet. However, when people reach out to me and ask me, hey, look, what would you give me for this? I've got a stock standard thing now. It's a case of saying, hey, look, I get lots of queries, like maybe 10, 20 queries a day as to buying Skylanders. So thank you very much for reaching out. However, I normally prioritize the people that have a figure in mind. So if you have a figure in mind, come back to me and we can talk from that. That alleviates or removes lowballing, and I think I have said in the previous video where people get upset when I say, hey, look, you've only got junk characters. Majority of these characters, with the exception of probably Granite Crusher, that one, maybe that one, or maybe 2 or 3 more. They're probably the high value characters, in the sense that maybe $10, $15, $20 each for those characters. The rest are probably like $2, $3 a character. Yeah, so like I'm saying, is that value proposition where I'll push it back onto them. If they don't want to do the work, I don't particularly care. So a lot of these people, they send them to me, in the sense that we arrange a deal, they send it to me and we go from that way. However, if they're not willing to take some more photos, not willing to look at a price, what they're thinking about, do I really want to do business with these people? Because like I said, I'm trusting them to send them to me. and all these different things. I'm trusting that they work and they've been tested. More often than not, they haven't, which obviously impacts the price, because the simple fact is I'm wearing the risk. You know, these characters might rock up with bits and pieces missing, which I have said previously before. A lot of Skylanders arrive broken because they're a kid's toy. Some arrive chewed, some arrive with parts missing, and some just arrive dead on arrival, right? So you do need to have a think about that when you come into play. But like I say, I normally toss those people aside and say, hey, look, that weeds themselves out, in the sense that if they don't want to take the photos, if they don't want to give me a starting price, in the sense that they might come back and say, hey, you know, this big tub for $20. I'll be like, hey, well, that's underpriced. I'm not going to cut myself out too much, but I'll say, hey, look, $20 is probably, you know, too cheap for that bucket. How about I give you $50 plus a shipping label? What that does, it works twofold, right? I'm keeping an eye on the microphone to make sure just to make sure it records, because before it wasn't, and it was, like I said, 44 minutes wasted down the drain. That obviously gives them reassurance. So if someone else has Skylanders, because a lot of these people are in communities or are in groups that have Skylanders, they will refer me. They said, look, I reached out to Josh and Josh gave me a fantastic price, or Josh was very fair. Josh told me what these items I'm looking at. So previously that, yeah, people were sending me lots with yawn traps in them and say, hey, look, I want $20 for them. I could have been a prick and said, yeah, here's $20, off you go. And I'll be like, oh no, you've actually got a yawn trap there. So what I'll do is I'll give you $100 for that trap, or $150. Yes, that trap goes for $500. Yes, that trap goes at $800. If it's a fire trap, I'll probably give you $200 or $150 for the green one. But the thing is, they're quite slow moving, right? So they don't go very quickly. So I need to take that into consideration as well, because you've got that cash outlay, you've got cash flow issues coming both ways. So that comes into play. By all means, you know, I tell the people, if they come back and say, hey, well, that's a rip-off, that's really low, sell it yourself on eBay. Oh, I don't have an eBay account, or I don't want to do this, or I don't want to pay tax on that. Not my problem. And like I said, it goes back to step one, in the sense, do I really want to deal with these people? Because like I said before, you're in the ecosystem. You really need to work out you're doing. Are you the bottom feeder, in the sense that you need to constantly get it in your car and drive out and do all the deals and basically take every scrap you can get? Or are you the one that's dictating the terms and conditions of the deal, which is what I'm trying to get to, and for the most part am. And like I said, that some people watching this might think of that as an arrogance thing. That's a business thing, right? Like, I'm trying to teach you how to be more business savvy. I'm not obviously at the level of tech and sports and make millions and millions and millions of dollars a year. However, I'm teaching you stuff that I wish I had known 5 years ago, because I probably would be like tech and sports league by now if I had have known this, 5-10 years ago when I started. But like I'm saying, is that you need to work out where you are in the ecosystem, then act appropriately. Tell people, no, I'm not willing to do this, or reach out to me. All these different things. So I want to talk about that quite quickly before we turn to the next topic. And on the flip side is that, just on the back of that thing, is that know where other people are in the ecosystem as well. And like I have mentioned before, a lady and her daughter reached out to me in regards to picking up some Skylanders and my defects, the ones that are broken, damaged, and all those different things for her science experiments, in the sense that she's going to do like a battle damaged Skylander and go from that way for on Etsy, which is fantastic. We built on that mindset on the conversation we had. However, it became more problematic in the sense that I was giving them for 10 cents a Skylander, so way below my cost. If some of these might be $1 or $2 a cost, depending on what they are, and then they come here and they're completely trashed, right? So I'm running a loss of those characters. So for example, that full box there she might have got for $5, for example, right? Then it became more problematic, and she's like, hey, well, do you work near the Canberra Centre? Do you work near this, or do you work near that? And I was like, well, no, you need to work out where you are in the ecosystem, that I'm giving you this for literal cents on the dollar. I'm giving this stuff away, right? You need to come to me. I'm not driving 45 minutes, or I'm not driving 30 minutes in one direction to meet you, to give you a box of $5 Skylanders for you possibly to make, depending on her artistic ability, make hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars, whilst I've just wasted probably $10, $15 in gas. I've wasted time, which I could be using to respond to the many people that reach out to me on a daily basis to buy their Skylanders, or I could be listing them on or packaging them. All these different things come into play. So be very, very, very mindful of the ecosystem and where you fall into it. Like I said, it's not a power play, it's not an ego play. It's business practice, right? You're very similar to your big businesses, your corporations. It's always the lower person that's trying to impress them, opposed to the other way around. So the second topic before we wrap it up today is that I want to talk about, I have turned off local pickup for my items. I did have a gentleman reach out to me, I wouldn't say harassing, he was very eager, put it that way. He wanted to swap some of his Skylanders for mine, and I had previously reached out to this person. I had reached out to, like I said previously, this guy had reached out to me before. Then we met up locally. He wanted to swap some characters around. So what I said to him is, look, you know, it's not valuable, or not a value proposition for me to swap very generic run-of-the-mill characters, which are these ones, for higher dollar ones, for the ones that I've got, right? So he was basically pricing his characters off my listed items. So like I said before, probably $5, $10, $15 for the ones I've got there. I don't pay $5, $10, $15 for them. I sell them at that because I've got tax, I've got, you know, packaging materials, I've got all these different, I've got to pay my daughter and pay my son. So all these different things come into play. And he wanted the characters that, yeah, are quite high priced in the sense of $60, $70 and high sell through. And I said to him, look, you know, it's not a value proposition for all these different things. And he goes, well, you know, if we can't meet at the Cray shops, do you want to come to Street X, which is where I live? And I'm like, oh, geez, how did you work this out? So my powers of deduction is this guy probably followed me home from when we went to the shops. He's not dangerous in the sense that, you know, he didn't mean it to be a threat or anything along that. He just personality, and read that into that is to what I'm getting across. So like I said, there's no threat there. I'm not going to take it any further. I just said to him, look, yeah, you're more than welcome to buy on eBay. However, eBay will look poorly upon us both if we start trying to take it off the platform. So he has backed off for the time being, I hope. Or alternatively, I might open the door and he's there with his little bag of Skylanders looking to swap them across. So I have done that for that reason. And previously, on the back of that one I spoke about previously, the mother and the daughter, I spent 40 minutes driving in one direction to drop the Skylanders off. It was probably about $120 worth of Skylanders. So after fees, postage, and, you know, promoter listings, it's probably looking about $70 profit. So driving, you know, 30 minutes there, 30 minutes back to an hour. I was trying to increase my hourly wage when I do this, because like I said, I could be spending that hour like sourcing, or spend that hour, you know, listing, and all these different things come into play. So I have turned off local pickup for that reason, because I don't want to be sitting in a shopping center for 15-20 minutes like an idiot holding a little lunchbox of Skylanders, waiting for someone that may or may not turn up. So that's something that I need to do, and I have done. That's turned off now, so that's probably good in that respect. I will probably entertain people with bigger offers, in the sense that if they are local and they're buying maybe $300, $400, $500 worth of Skylanders, I will say, hey, look, you know, if you do want to pick them up, you're more than welcome to come out, and I'll just manually return their postage or something like that. Or I might even keep their postage. I might say to them, hey, look, you know, they only pay $10 domestic postage, regardless of the amount of Skylanders they buy. If we are doing a local meetup, I'm taking that as your postage element because it's my time, right? It's compensating for my time. So that's another thing that might come into play. But like I said, for the most part, I have turned off local pickup for the Skylanders. And quite quickly before I wrap it up for the episode, my wife's telling me I'm going to take my daughter to work, in the sense that what I want to do is basically, yesterday, which was Friday, my phone died, or I left it at work. I can't particularly remember what happened. It was a big day. It was the longest day of my life, or almost the longest year of my life. And I went to the salvos after I dropped the post off, and walked in there completely blind without my phone. And I really didn't know the prices of things. I couldn't pick anything up. I probably know video games to a degree. I definitely know Skylanders. You know, if you show me a picture of a Skylander, I could probably tell you what it's worth within $5 or $10. Obviously, depending on the price of the Skylander. But like I said, with jeans and clothes and all these different things, I really didn't have a crutch to fall on. So I would strongly suggest and strongly recommend, if you are, you know, looking at doing stuff along the lines of that, learn a niche where you walk into somewhere and you know exactly what it is. You know the price point, you know the stock availability, you know, like for Levi jeans, for example, or, you know, Not Your Daughter's jeans, or True Religion, I used to pick up, and there's another one I can't remember. I can't think, Page, I think, of the jeans I used to pick up. So I used to know those pretty well, so in the sense that if my phone died or something happened, I could go into an op shop and pick them up depending on the price point. So definitely recommend learning a niche enough that you can go anywhere, you know, garage sales or anything like that, pick it straight up, work out the price and get out. Time is your friend in this thing, and it's also working against you. So be very, very, very mindful that you really want to be getting on top of those things, especially becoming more and more complicated. More and more resellers are coming into the space, more and more technology is coming into the space. So you really want to be capitalizing on your time as much as you can, which is what I'm doing at the moment. Anyway, we'll roll into the footage now for Ghost House, and the Ghost House we'll let we'll let my future Josh self identify which one we're going to roll with. But anyway, we'll leave it there. Let me know down below if I'm wrong or if I'm right, if you let local buyers pick up, or what your stance is in regards to it. But anyway, we'll catch you next time. Bye. How's that? It was like
It wasn't even scary.
Did you hear that?